For today's video, we're going to make this delicious hamburger soup. You could turn this into a stew by thickening the broth if you would rather have it thicker. This is Whip It Up Wednesday, my crockpot dish for this week. And it's a collaboration that we've been invited to by Heather at Needy Homesteader, Lisa at Sutton Stays, Mandy at More to Life, and Tina at Wilhelm's Kitchen, and Linda at Linda's Pantry. I have to stop and think about all those names, so I make sure and get them right. And we appreciate it so much. It's been fun to see everyone's dishes. I want to make all of them. They all look so good. I think you YouTubers are very good cooks. Anyway, this is a really good hamburger soup. Tried and true recipe. It's my aunt's recipe. I haven't made it for a long time, but it's very good. So come along and I'll show you how she makes it and how much it's loved by our family. Hi YouTube, it's Edith from Love and Life, and I'm here for my Whip It Up Wednesday. I got up this morning and decided to make you this delicious hamburger soup or stew. You can thicken it to make a stew. I like it as a soup, and it is so good. I haven't made it for a long time, but it's a very good soup. But I couldn't find my crock pot, and I looked, and my husband helps me do the dishes sometimes, and I looked in all my cupboards and couldn't find it, and realized I took it to my daughter's about a week ago with some chicken gravy in it, and it must be at her house. So I broke out my old crock pot. Thank goodness I have two. This is my old one that I've used for years and years and years, and as you can see, it's well used. The bottom is stained from use, but I love it. I love this crock pot. This crock pot actually heats better than my new one, and it only has low, high, and warm on it though, but it's a good crock pot. So we'll make it in my old trusty crock pot. I'm adding a chopped onion. It's pretty coarsely chopped because I like chunks of onion in my soup, but you can chop it finer if you like. And I'm going to chop up some carrots and celery, and I'll be back to show you what else I do. Okay, I've added the rest of the onions, a lot of celery. The recipe says lots of celery, and some chopped up carrots. Then you add 5 beef bouillon cubes. There's 5 there that I've opened up. We'll put those in. I think that's one of the things that gives it such good flavor. You need a large can of, let me show you, a large can of crushed tomatoes. I'm using my home canned tomatoes. I canned these in 2016, and I opened them and they smell delicious. So let me add those. Hi, I'm recording. I'll take that little part out just a sec. And then it calls for a can of green beans. And I remember adding the green beans last time. This time, these are already cooked and done. My home canned green beans. And I think I'll just wait and add them a little later because I don't want them to cook and cook and cook. And then it calls for just a little bit of water. I'm going to add a little bit of water. I don't know how much to add, but I'm not going to add a ton. A little bit, and then I'll add more if I want. And then you put the lid on. You cook it for an hour and a half. I'm going to cook this on high because it's noon. Or well, it's about 1. And I will bring you back in a little bit. It calls for a little bit of salt and pepper. I'll probably season it just a little bit. And then just let this cook. This soup is so good. I will bring you back in a little bit and show you what we do next. Okay, we're ready for the next step. It's been an hour and a half, and my house already smells wonderful. Yummy, yummy. The next step is kind of a different step. you're supposed to add whole potatoes and let them cook until they're tender. So we're just going to put these potatoes in here. I don't know why you put them in whole and not cut them up, but I know you put them in whole. I've made it this way before. It works good. And just let it cook until they're tender, and then we'll add some more things when we come back. So I'll come back to you in just a little while. Let that cook for a while more. It is ready to continue. Look at that delicious broth. Oh, if you could smell this, it smells delicious. The potatoes were fork tender, so I took them out of the pan and chopped them up. I don't know why they do it that way, but why the recipe's that way, but it's easy. Maybe that's the reason. At this point, I'm going to add my green beans. I drained some cut corn and some sweet peas, a small bag of each. These are, let's see, 10 ounce bags of corn and peas. And then I've browned off some ground beef. You just put your ground beef in a pan, add onion and garlic salt, and brown it off and add it. You do all of this within the last half an hour. Cut up the potatoes, add the corn, add the peas, and I'm going to add the green beans hidden back there. And then after a half an hour, I'll bring you back. Our soup will be ready to eat. So we'll see you then. Our soup is done. It's delicious. I think I added a bit too many vegetables. Next time I will add a little bit less potatoes and a little bit less green beans and probably less carrots and celery too, to make it so that I don't have quite as much. This is a big crock pot and it filled the whole thing. So we'll eat it for 2 days, tonight and tomorrow, and then I'll put some in the freezer. So I put some in a bowl with just some French bread with some butter on it, and I'm just going to try it, a little bit of it. But I already have tasted it, and it just is so good. It's really, really good. It's just a really hearty vegetable soup with ground beef in it to give you protein, and it just has really good flavor. The peas and the corn are good in it too. I like adding the peas at the end because they don't turn a dark color and have the consistency of canned peas. And the ground beef doesn't turn pink. When you cook ground beef in the crock pot for a long time, it turns pink. That's why you add the ground beef at the end. But it's just got really delicious flavor. So I hope you'll give this a try. We enjoy it. And we'll just see you next week for Whip It Up Wednesday.